Hey Daily Dosers, my name is Anthony and I'm the high school pastor up here in Ramona. And in this season where peppermint mocha dust is in the air and when you go turn on the TV on the Hallmark channel, there's this word joy that pops up. Or you go to the Hobby Lobby down the street, right, and there's just joy everywhere. Or I go, like, if you're like me, I go to Target every other day with my wife. Shout out to my wife. And I see this word joy everywhere. I hear the song, "Joy to the World." Like, what is this word joy? What is this word joy? So Webster's dictionary defines it as a feeling of great pleasure or happiness. What if I told you you could have that all the time? You'd probably be like, yeah, Tony, that sounds great. I want that all the time. But what I'm not talking about is this fake church mask perma smile where you're like this. How are you doing? Oh, I'm really good. But really you're in Spain without the S. I'm not talking about that fake joy. I'm talking about a real biblical joy. So let me tell you how to get it. Would you buy stuff? Buy stuff, get a credit card, max it out, and then get another credit card, max that out, and then after that, create a new identity and start all over again. I'm just kidding, right? Like we can't find our joy in our stuff for the simple reason that of the law of diminishing returns, it would just lose interest after a while. We can't even find our joy in circumstances because you and I know that life is up and down, that finances come and go, that health is up and down, that the economy is ever changing. And we know that our circumstances are also ever changing. And so we cannot set our joy in that. We can't even set our joy in our significant other. Why? Because for the simple reason that they are human and that they will fail us. And also they'll fart under the covers and fluff the sheets. And so we need to set our joy in something that will never fail us and that will never change. And that is the person and the presence of Jesus. Psalm 16 verse 11 says, "In his presence is the fullness of joy." And I love that because he invites us to that fullness of joy in his presence. In Matthew 11 verse 28, he says this, "Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your soul. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." When Jesus says that his heart is gentle, that Greek word gentle is used 3 times in the New Testament, and it's more synonymous with humble or meek. So when Jesus says that, he means that he's the most understanding person in the universe. That the most natural posture of Jesus is not a pointed finger, but it's open arms. And when Jesus says that he is lowly in heart, what he's meaning is that he is accessible. That the God of all creation and all of his holiness, all of his splendor, invites you and me in and it is accessible. He invites you and me in with no hoops to jump through and no strings attached. And the way that we respond is to open yourself up to Jesus. Because the invitation says, "Come to me, all who are burdened." So if you're burdened with family drama, with tuition fees, with finances, with marriage issues, with a lack of joy, and all the heaviness and the burdens of life, bring them with you to the presence of Jesus where there's a fullness of joy. And he'll give you rest as a gift. I'm reading this book right now, and it talks about this yoke is easy. This yoke is easy, and he writes this. He says, "The yoke is easy" is better translated as "my yoke is kind." Because Jesus uses this irony here. He says, the yoke laid upon the disciples is a yoke of kindness. It's like telling a drowning person they need to use the burden of a life preserver. So this holiday season, if you're feeling the burden and you're feeling like you're drowning, if you're feeling anxiety-ridden or overwhelmed, if you can't see his hand moving, would you trust his heart that is lowly and gentle, that invites you to be with him, that wants to be with you? So would you accept his invitation? So North Coast, how do we keep our joy? It's not a feeling, but joy is a practice of presence. It is a practice of presence. So would you spend time with Jesus in prayer, in reading God's word, where you could read his heart for you and claiming the promise every time you enter that presence, that God in your presence is the fullness of joy. All right, North Coast, we'll see you soon.